Wild. Shout out to Dane, though, for getting me a Red Bull today.
Yeah, what up?
New Red Bull.
New flavor for the summer.
Mm-hmm. Red Bull time.
Yeah, I'm gonna pound the rest of this. My heart is crazy right now.
There's a bunch of weird shit happening inside me.
My blood ain't right.
I don't think Red Bull's like the worst energy drink to drink.
No, that fucking monster, and it only comes in one can, big. You know what I mean? They don't even
Big.
slim it down or baby size it for you. It's just straight up.
I do really like the little cans of Red Bull. Like, it's not quite enough, but it is like you're not as guilty.
Yeah.
And it also, you're way less likely to have the heart palpitations.
Yeah, definitely. And for like a not so regular user of Red Bull, just a little can really gets me.
What episode are we on?
3.
Are you sure? You like just did like all these finger things, and I was like, "What are we doing? Are we 4ing it? Is it 6?
It is 3.
It is 3.
Because what's up? Ashley and Dane, Mindset, episode 3, season 2,
Oh my gosh.
and we got a slew of
Things.
for you guys
Yeah. Things
to discuss
talk about.
with us.
Yeah, for sure.
Check it. And we're back.
I love singing our own theme songs. They're my favorite thing to do.
It's so low.
Every time.
You guys missed it.
I can't do it. I go buck wild every time.
All the time.
So first things first, this is a small business shout out, okay, that I want to make sure that I mention because that's why I wore the shirt today. So like Corbin's Painting, all right, they do professional interior and exterior painting. You can find them on Facebook. And I'm going to give you the phone number too because I can plug that. So area code 717-368-7042. Shout out to my personal friend Corbin, who's amazing, and I know for a fact does really great work. And everybody kind of might need like a little something, you know?
It's true.
Feel free to give them a call. Tell them I sent you.
What up with the hook it up with the something?
Yeah, so small business shout out. I will be doing these probably as often as I can. Feel free to send me some more stuff to wear.
It's true. We got topics today,
We
right?
have topics today, yeah. So a lot of our other topics kind of interweave with each other. So I want to open with something that's like not related to the rest of our topics, but I definitely feel like we should touch base on because everybody's talking about it right now. And everybody just loves our opinion just so much.
It's true.
So I want to talk about the Titanic submarine.
Titan. Going down to the Titanic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just call it the Titanic submarine.
Gotcha.
That's what it was.
Just want to make sure everybody... I said I don't know the facts, but I know that fact.
Well, that's wild because I was literally just thinking like you just told me you didn't know anything, and
that's
now
all I know.
we're
That's the only thing I know.
1 second in, and you're like, no.
Something went wrong with the flux capacitor, and shit went left.
Imploded. It imploded. Okay, on itself. It left with 96 hours of oxygen. We were all kind of like counting down and waiting, like what's gonna happen, like running out of oxygen. But
I don't think that would have been a good idea.
I don't know. I think now they're kind of believing that this implosion happened even before they were out of oxygen, if I'm understanding that correctly, because the pressure down there is just like wild, and it really doesn't take much of like any sort of thing going wrong at that point to cause something like that. But it's not even like I want to talk about that. Like it's very first of all, like it's very sad, you know, people were like lost, families are now like mourning, so like obviously like that's nothing I want to talk about. However, what I do want to talk about is how buck wild like social media went over the submarine. I've never seen like so many memes about like people dying.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not on that social platform.
I really for that second,
that.
you know,
Thank
I was
goodness.
really regretting that decision. I really was. It was hard.
That's really weird because I don't want to skip over subjects here or whatnot, but they just like exposed aliens and stuff, and like nobody really gives a shit.
Right.
And it's really weird because like if that would have happened back in my day,
X-Files Day.
X-Files, yeah, X-Files, and pre-X-Files. Dude, the world would have went crazy, and I
Right.
feel like nobody gave a shit.
Well, the other thing is...
But with this, it's definitely, like you said, it was everywhere. Maybe that's why I'm out of touch.
Like, right at the same time of that happening, there was also, like, some boat that was taking refugees from one country to another, and when it got to that country, it got turned away, and they had to, like, go back, and it ended up sinking, and other lives were lost, and nobody was talking about that because they were so busy, talking about this. But it's not even, like, really just the thing that irked me, because, like, I get it, it's news, and, like, everybody, like, wants that, but it was just, like, the insensitivity of some of the memes. Like, I get, like, where some people are coming from, but it's almost, like, just hating on people for being, like, successful and being able to, like, have that kind of opportunity, and then trying to make them look stupid for it. I just don't know how I feel about that, really. And then on top of that, like I said, just the insensitivity. Like, if that was somebody that, like, I knew or cared about or loved, and everybody was sharing memes about it, and I just, like, the one time I would go on social media that day or whatever, like, it would be everything I saw, and I just,
yeah,
like,
that fucking hit, yeah, it hits hard. It hits hard. You don't... I think this is a perfect segue into my topic.
Yes.
is respect.
Yes.
As far as respect in a relationship, in a friendship, in a community, in a state,
Right.
and just as a whole, just in everything that you do, like, right there, like, I understand that there are people that are what you would consider, like, comedians, right? And they touch
Right.
on subjects that are sometimes a little difficult, but they find the humor in it, and I get that. But it's kind of like some people. I think we actually talked about this before. Some people start something, and other people just jump on board and just try to copy what was started.
Yeah,
and I
for
feel
sure.
like
I think once the memes started coming out, it was like, how can we, like, top it? How can we
Right.
make it worse? How can we, like, push it? Like, there
Right.
were some that were just, like,
and maybe people are so fucked up that they
bad.
don't think they're making it worse. They're just trying to top whatever
Right.
was out, and they want that, like, wow factor. Maybe I don't know if that's a thing yet, but, like,
we've definitely
the
touched
who's-
on, like, putting somebody in somebody else's shoes, though, before, and I feel like
right.
that's a major example of it. Like, if that was your family, how would you feel? You know, would you share that? Would you have wanted somebody else to share that? Would you want your friend to share that? You know what I
Right.
mean? But I just think, honestly, it was wild, just because, like, literally everybody was sharing them.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
People you wouldn't
Like,
even, you know what I mean? And it's like,
it's
people
funny 'cause I
really
didn't know
saw
about this
humor in a
stuff.
situation that, like, I personally didn't find, like, I didn't really find any humor in it personally, but at the same time, like, yo, did I not laugh at, like, one or two of them? Maybe, yeah.
It's what
Did
they're
I
there
feel
for. They're
guilty about
trying.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're trying. They're, it's there.
I mean, we make 9/11 jokes now. Like, that was not cool in, like, 2000s.
It's true.
Now
true.
it's like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, maybe it's like timing's everything. Maybe, like,
I think last season we talked about putting, like, only good stuff on your phone and whatnot,
Right.
and on
Positive
your
things.
social.
Mhm.
Try to keep everything towards, like, your hobbies and positive things, and I feel like this is just like it's just right now, like, every platform I feel like is just an outlet for, like, toxicity. You know what I mean? And it's like,
yeah, because I think that people are
exploited
way more
so-
negative now
yeah.
than we've ever been.
yeah, for why?
I don't know. I mean, I can think of, like, a million things that definitely, like, contribute to these things, such as, like, road rage, distracted driving. Like, that's a thing that wasn't happening when we were kids, you know what I mean? Like, someone mentioned to me the other day, like, when they were, like, young, they probably didn't even have, like, a car seat, you know what I mean? And, like, now, like, you wouldn't dare put, like, a baby facing the wrong way or anything, because people are so it's like just the stress and the difference, I feel like, of the world today. It's so easy to just be caught in, like, that negativity.
Yeah, and I think kind of like what you're saying, like, back in the day, you knew and dated and married somebody that was in your town because you had no access to other people outside unless you traveled or you had a job or you
Right.
went to, gatherings of the same
Right.
type of like-minded people. And now, I'm going to use weirdos very loosely because I consider myself
A weirdo. Proud weirdo,
but there
me too.
are definitely negative weirdos. But there's a place for all these weirdos to meet up, whether it's good or bad, or helping or hindering a situation,
or safe or dangerous. Yeah,
right,
like a bunch of different ways.
So you're always going to have that. So I guess I don't know. Guess it all comes back to that respect thing. Do you have enough respect to choose your words wisely? I guess you have the freedom of speech. You can say what you want.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you do have a responsibility to, not spread lies or whatnot, but speak the truth. And then that's pretty tough nowadays, I guess, because
everybody gets butthurt about things, so I think it's, like, hard. Like, one thing that I was going to say is, like, how do you know, like, what's the line of respect on social media between self-expression but also, like, being respectful of, like, anybody that's on your friends list? It's pretty much almost impossible to make sure that, like, if you're going to post something that's even mildly controversial, that it's not going to upset somebody on there.
Right, yeah.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's just the way it is.
I feel like if you're expressing yourself in a creative manner, right, and you have that capacity to do that, then you also have the capacity to almost figure a way out,
right,
to make that respectable in some form.
No, for sure.
Right?
Right.
Without, and it doesn't have to compromise what you're saying or anything like that. Just maybe choose your words wisely.
The line.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
What do you think that, do you think that it's harder to respect somebody you're in a relationship with or harder to respect somebody you're in a friendship with? Like, think about it, you know what I mean? When you're in a relationship with somebody, especially when it's, like, long-term, eventually you start having those, like, stupid fucking arguments, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Does that
I think
that's when you start losing respect for each other, right?
Yeah, I think the answer should be equal, right?
It should be.
Because don't they say you should marry your best friend, right?
Right.
So, ideally, you should...
Ideal.
Right.
Right.
Because you guys will have the most in common. That's
Right.
probably what drew you together as friends.
For
and
sure.
if there's a line there between the friendships, she says she only wants to be friends, or it's just a really good connection on a different level, that respect is going to have to go both ways for each person,
Right.
I feel, right? And I think that this person, as a friend or your wife friend, whoever, I think when you have somebody that understands you and you connect and you have a friend, there is going to be so much respect because you respect everything about them.
Right.
Right?
Right.
With no expectations. And I think that's where respect gets all jumbled up, when you have expectations on stuff.
I think also the majority of relationships really don't start out as friendships anymore, especially because of social media.
That is
People
true.
just, like, linking right up and then just, okay, cool, we're dating now. You know what I mean?
That is true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
People definitely rush it, especially, like, when you get a little older. It's definitely, like, you see people just jump into things for sure. You know, way different than when you're young. Now, like, I feel like when I was young, especially in my early 20s, because I married young and did all those things young. And I mean, obviously now, like, obviously I wouldn't take anything away, but if I knew how everything would play out, would I have gotten married? No, because there really wasn't much of a point to it. Like, it's a legal thing, and at the time, you know what I mean, it wasn't, like, important, and I wasn't dating my best friend at the time. I wasn't marrying my best friend at the time. You know what I mean? And so I think, I don't know. It's just...
You can also feel like you are not saying that you were rushed, but there are people that have family that put expectations on them
and that goes back to, like, it used to be normal to marry really young, so, like, older family usually are the ones that are like, oh yeah, like, lock it down, you know what I mean? And that's what I was experiencing, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, now I feel like all of these generations have learned that like most of them are getting divorced, at least in their like 40s, if they happen to make it even that long.
I was gonna say, yeah, even if, yeah.
But like most, honestly, like you see a lot of 40, 50-year-old divorcees now, like, you know what I mean? And it's the truth. And I'm not like, I'm saying though, it's because we like put, and it's now that that's happening, we're not putting that pressure on like this young generation.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, they're kind of just, hooking up, and then if from that encounter, if that's a good encounter, then they're moving forward, right? No matter what, right?
Right.
And I feel like nothing, not saying nothing, but the internet's very fake, and there's a lot of fake stuff. So you got to figure out why you got to shovel through a lot of shit to get what you're looking for.
Right.
So if you're using social media for like
Dating.
dating,
Or, like finding potential dators.
right. Not so much hookups and stuff like that, because I'm not saying that's like a shallow pool or you feel shallow doing that or whatever. That's just,
And that's more like Tinder, and that like,
based
that's
on
not
looks.
like
That's
it's
how
different.
good can you look
Right.
in a picture and then in real life, and then
Right.
let's just,
Post the least amount of pictures and the least amount of information.
yeah, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
But if you're on there in social medias looking at, and you're in like groups that you know really enjoy and stuff, I feel like you have to really take your time to demask these people from social media and figure out who they are.
True.
Because and that door swings both ways, as far as somebody can make themselves look really good, kind-hearted on social media, and not, and they're just in real life they just know what to post to get attention.
Another good example of that kind of like social media facade, since we're like touching base on relationships, is like people that either do, you know, post the relationship every day, like selfies, you know, people even go so far as to like conjoin fucking Facebooks and that shit, and then you have people that like don't like to post anything, don't like to like make it official, don't like to like make it a big thing. And I think that it's like such a it's a cliche to think that like you have to keep other people that are outside of your relationship updated on your relationship to have a good relationship.
Yep.
But at the same time, I think that the whole trust and respect in relationship thing, since that was also like what you were talking about, it ties into this as well. Like if your significant other like needs that reassurance in you doing that, like are you going to respect them enough to give them that? You know what I mean? That's like part of the respect thing. Sometimes you need to like break out of your like norm or like things that you think aren't important and do that for somebody else too. So I think
true,
it says
like a 50-50 relationship,
yeah,
80-20 sometimes.
right.
But you also have to understand that you might need to compromise.
Oh, for sure.
And I feel like the only way you're going to do the 80 on my 20
Right.
is if what I'm asking you is something I understand you're capable of, right? I can't say, hey, today I know on a regular day I can't lift a car, but today I'm feeling weak, I need you to lift the car, and then get pissed off more at you because you're not lifting the car when I know that's not reasonable.
Right.
You
No,
know what
I
mean?
totally agree. But that's what I think. I don't think it's people that are in relationships that like are making these standards. It's literally the people that are single looking in on other people's relationships that put the importance on those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
And that's crazy kind of when you think about it.
Yeah, because the worst thing you can do to an innocent man is accuse him. Remember that.
Oh my Lord.
I'm just saying. So what I feel is like you could also, when I said about the door going both ways, you have
Right.
people looking good, but they're really not. You could also have somebody that might present themselves as like over the top comedian, or like a spicy model, or something like that, when they just are so business minded sometimes that they see the opportunity
Right.
to get on there and you can say exploit or whatever, but use that system to make money as a business person. And when you meet these people, they are so business minded. They're
Right.
not even that person that you are seeing on
Social
media,
Yep.
right? And so I feel like you really need to have more than, you know, a Saturday night for 3 weeks in a row, you know, meeting somebody. I think you really need to sit down and like get to know these people and peel back the layers off of everybody.
You know what I think is the real getting to know someone, especially if you're like trying to date somebody, or even if it's like a friend. I feel like taking like a trip. That's like like why is that like the thing that really like it lets you know how much time you can really spend with somebody, and it really like shows you when they're put in like different situations and environments how they act.
It's true.
And it's like really anybody. I mean, it's even like family. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you don't know how your family acts until you like take them somewhere, and you're like, all right, you don't.
I worked at a place where I worked in a warehouse, and we loaded and unloaded trucks, and every once in a while I'd have to take a ride with a truck driver,
Mm-hmm.
help unload and stuff. And after that day of being in the truck, going one way, dropping off and coming back, and that would be almost like the 8-hour day. Like we became either so close or we
like
just
hated
never
each
wanted
other.
to talk to each other again. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like
That's what I'm saying.
it is. It's like spending time with somebody in a small area. Really,
Whether it be like airplane, cruise ship, hotel room,
Yup.
car. It's true though.
it is.
It's wild.
It is very crazy.
I
It's
love
very
that.
crazy. But I feel like that's what you got to do, because you really need to find out who these people are.
Right.
You know, and you know, as far as respect goes, I think I should look in my notes here and see what I got going on.
You should look in your notes and see what you got going on.
So along with the respect thing, I think I was going with was figuring out your purpose and reaching for your goal, right? And this was what it kind of all started out as, and that you can't let anyone stand in your way.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna have people that aren't gonna respect you, and they're gonna say, you know, weird things to you when you're going for a goal. They might not understand the goal, they might not understand the path, they just might not understand.
Right.
And Ashley was telling me a story outside, and it was just about this girl who kind of might have got wild out in a public area, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of thinking, like what makes somebody, first of all, want to hang out with people that are not their tribe? But they want to fit in, but they want to rock the boat when everyone's just chilling. And everybody chills because that's their vibe, that's their tribe, that's what they're all down to do, right?
Right.
And then you throw that other person in the mix, and why does that other person feel the need to
Like fuck up the motion of the ocean?
try to be the square peg? Yeah,
Yeah,
I just don't understand.
I feel you.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of like,
I would say false sense of validation, one, because everybody has like a different way of making themselves feel good, and it's not for everybody. It's really not doing nice things. I will say that. You know what I mean? And we see that all the time. I don't think that we're eager to point it out about somebody, and
Yeah.
but it is the truth. You know what I mean? And sometimes not doing the nicest thing does make us feel good in fucked up ways. When we flick somebody off when we're driving or whatever it may be, like you're an asshole, and then it makes you feel good, and that's not good because you made somebody else feel bad. But yeah, no.
do you think it's your tolerance filling up from like that last? Okay, you're driving, you flick somebody off, right? You
Yes.
give them the fucking jerk off
Yes.
sign, you tell them whatever,
Yes,
right?
Right.
Now you feel like really good about yourself. Then you think about it, right? It was almost like super spontaneous. It just came out. You couldn't help yourself.
Right.
Now you're driving.
Like, fuck
You're
that
thinking,
guy.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
thinking about like, fuck that motherfucker, you
Right.
know. And then 3 blocks down, you're just like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have really done that. Is that
Yeah, 100%. I'm like, wait, they
Is
have
that
like, they have
him?
the
Is that
Christian
him
fish
follow?
on the
Yeah, is
car,
that
like,
him following me? No. And then
Right.
then you deal with a whole bunch of other shit during the week, and you don't
Right.
you don't overreact. You're not spontaneous about that. Lashing out.
Right.
But then
Is that not what separates a good person from a bad person, though? Is
they know
somebody
when to, like...
No, it's somebody that like has remorse when they do. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's ever gonna not do something wrong.
It's true. You gotta have respect. That's I think what the main thing is.
Right.
With each person in your life, you need to respect them. And they might be a little weird. They might be different, but I think you have to accept that because that's who they are. That's what makes them them. You know what I mean? So I feel like respect is super important.
And it kind of ties all the things like together from today in a way, because it's like that's what we were saying about the social media thing and like being sensitive of other people. It's like that is part of being respectful towards others, I think, as well, is like having like not even empathy, but just like you said, that line of knowing like what's okay to joke about, what's not okay to joke about.
I think maybe an understanding.
Yeah,
is that
good.
Kind of...
Yeah, because I think empathy is like too much. Like that's expecting too much out of somebody. But
yeah,
like, you can definitely expect somebody to be respectful and understanding, patient.
Yeah, because it might
like
not be, it might not be your cup of tea. So I think with sometimes with being with somebody and having a partner, there is a lot of expectations that are just put on that relationship.
Right.
And I feel without that relationship, without the respect, that relationship starts to crumble a little bit because the respect is just so important.
Right.
I feel like, but with a friend, you don't have so many expectations on that friend, and more than likely you've known that friend for a while, so you know their tics or their how they are,
right.
or what might be it's not to say sound selfish, but what drives you to be friends with that person might have nothing to do with their flaws per se, and it's simply a connection on another level. So the expectations of them going back on their flaws has really nothing to do with that friendship that you have. As long as those flaws are not, if your flaw is you steal all the time and you're stealing from me all the time, well, that's the friendship's not going to last. But if that flaw has nothing to do with me, you know what I mean? But our friendship is respected and reciprocated in that same manner. I mean, I think that's...
Now, how we were talking about how the ideal relationship is when you're with your best friend. It's when you can respect your significant other like you would respect a friend.
Very
and
true.
Be patient enough of those things like you would be a best friend. You know what I mean? Or like somebody you've been friends with for a really long time. Like once you get to that point, or once you realize that you have that kind of relationship, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like that's when you know it's like a really healthy thing,
Yeah, definitely.
But I think that's how you know what I mean, too, like what you need to work on if you don't feel that way about your partner. Like, okay, cool, like I need to apply like these things that I'm already doing in my friendships, and I need to start like up trying to apply that to my relationship and really see how that can grow the connection and make the relationship a lot easier for everybody. And I do think patience is a gigantic part of it, for sure.
Along with communication, because communicating isn't always that hard, but it depends on who's receiving the communication. If that person is brick wall shut down, then you're gonna feel like your words are wasted.
Right.
And for somebody that really is good and enjoys communicating, that's real tough for that person, because the your main objective is for people to hear you. You know what I mean?
Right.
I understand you need to hear other people, and that's the respect and the what goes along with communicating, is listening. So I think that it's very, very healthy to be able to communicate. And once you get that, and once you have the respect, I think that's a good starting point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that we also, like, our friendships are with people that we communicate well with. Like, that's how you know that somebody is your friend. So I do think that sometimes it's crazy that, like, we don't look for that, like, right away in a partner. Or, like I said, like, start it off like that, like, have that connection and know that, and then moving on to something else. Like, that's why I do think that, like, relationships and dating is so hard now for people, because it is so different, and, like, that is why. because like I feel like everything used to be so organic because it didn't used to start out like that. You had to like walk to somebody's house, you had to call their house and like go through their parents to get them on the phone, things like that. Like it's different than like now. Everything is so accessible and we take advantage of that in a way.
And I think that feeds insecurities and
Yep.
leads to trust issues when you really, we didn't have that growing up. There wasn't, if you weren't spending time with somebody, your boyfriend or girlfriend, you were just out doing something else. Like it wasn't so much that you were constantly wondering what they were doing. You might have, you know what I mean, but
yeah, but
you
now
didn't
when you
have
do,
a
guess
phone,
what? You
right?
can sit at home. You,
You
can
didn't
look
have
at their
a
Snapchat, their
Exactly,
Instagram. Where are you
exactly.
at? What are you doing? Some people share locations. Like I think that's like a whole other topic.
Yeah, I think that is.
The sharing locations thing. I'll put that down for another time,
But I think back in the day, it was more out of sight, out of mind. It was kind of like you didn't have, you didn't have a cell phone to like call that person and ask them where they were, and or it just it was a little bit different. And I feel like, nothing's that real on social media, so you almost question everything you see.
you had to put a lot more effort in back then.
Yeah.
Now you can, it's a little bit of effort.
I think you
sometimes
still-
for big reward, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, a little bit of effort with certain things now can go a lot longer of a way just because of how you can exploit things on social media or whatever, you know what I
And
mean?
I feel like it's the same amount from back in the day. It's just everybody is so used to not having
Right.
this that when you give them a little bit, it seems like a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like this is really hard to understand until you're older, but looking back, you have to understand that as a child, right, your parents were raising you, but they were also growing as a person.
Yep.
So like if you didn't have kids until you were 30, in your 30s, mid 30s, but your parents had you at 20, you have to understand and think about how you acted when you were 20 and then throw a kid in the mix. You know what I mean? And you're just trying to figure everything out. And I think people don't understand that it's just maybe a second thought or whatever, but you are continuously growing and learning through life.
Right.
And you're not going to stop growing, but you can stop learning. And if you think once you move out and you get a job, then that's where your learning stops. You need to, open your mind and get your mindset right, because there's so much stuff that is out there to teach you and for you to learn. And I think that's important, because when you get with somebody and you want to continue to enjoy a happy life and happiness with that person, then you have to understand that this is something that's going to continuously grow and morph and evolve just as you do as a person, because
Right.
you are a person and you are making this a relationship, a thing, a whatever you want to call it, and it's going to change and it's going to move and evolve, like I said. So
Right.
I think you have to understand that. So the more you communicate and you say, hey, out of the 5 things that you enjoy doing, I like doing 2 of them, right?
Right.
And out of the 5 things I enjoy, you like doing 3 of those things. Let's connect on the 2 things and allow that other person to go and enjoy themselves doing the other 3 things that they enjoy that I
Right.
might not be enjoying. You're going to come back so much happier and so
right,
more...
like stop trying to do the things you don't want to do with that person either, just like bite some sort of relationship bullet. I totally agree. I think everybody like has their own thing.
You're going to be more susceptible for what I'm communicating to you, coming home in a happy mood,
For sure.
doing stuff that you
For
enjoy,
sure.
right? Then
yeah, and you were patient with me. You let me do my thing, like whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna be appreciative of that, and the appreciation will probably definitely show in better communication, better listening, things like that.
better
I totally
home
agree.
cooked meals. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
So I feel like respect is. I feel like it just goes. It goes to the wayside. Kind of like the alien spaceship thing. Like I was saying, like nobody really gave a fuck about the aliens. I do
can't.
aliens. If you watching, peace. What up, yo? Diamond Productions.
Somebody I know has a alien go bag under their bed. Somebody very close, near, and dear to me.
Just in case.
Yeah. He said he's gonna put me in the bag too.
Oh, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, it's cute.
take your favorite things with, right?
I'm definitely one of those things. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. And if I could have
Like, shit, she's not gonna fit in
all
here.
right,
I
now-
gotta take some stuff
Yeah, I
out.
was gonna say now if I could pack an alien go bag, all right, it would be like he's not fitting in a bag, but he's going. All right, so like that's like its own thing. And then I have Redbull, pictures of my kids, because like this is a vacation for mommy. Like y'all ain't coming.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And also like we don't know the dangers and we don't know. So too much unknown. They stay. At least like some marijuana. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably
That's
not.
it.
It's probably legal out there.
That's the peace flower too. Like that's how I'm gonna get all the aliens and I unified, and also a bottle of peach crown, because like that's my libation of choice. So I feel like I'm gonna connect them on that.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's a good idea too. I think that's a
Right.
good choice. Taste, flavor. I think that's perfect.
And then Harry Potter books. And tweezers. That's it.
It's really good. Pictures of your kids. I would throw in a few of the picture that come with frames
Yes.
just to throw them off a little bit in case they're coming back because they really like your jeans. So, if they try to find your kids, it might make it a little harder throwing
Shit,
in
you're right.
some
Maybe I don't bring pictures.
crazy pictures of other people's kids that you got with the frames. So.
Oh, my phone charger. That's a good one.
Uh.
And multiple power batteries. So this way I can use a little bit of phone time every day to look at pictures of my kids. Therefore, they can't have access because they.
Yeah, that's true.
But they probably do have access.
They probably have
so.
a brain thing they slip
They
on
just
you.
literally
and
look
then
at my phone and it's like they're in it. Yeah, I know. Fuck.
Like, what'd you bring the charger for? We can charge it with our finger. Bzz, and
Right.
It's charged.
Damn it. You don't know. It's what you don't know. Like, they're just taking you. You have no idea.
It's true.
But I would.
It's just like the Book of Life.
I'm open.
unwritten.
I'm open to abduction. Not from humans, but aliens. Making that
What up,
clear.
aliens? If you're listening, I'm not, so I got work on. I got this week off, but next week I got.
Just take me. It's fine.
So.
I'm ready to go.
And then Ashley will be back on the show, and she can let us know what you're gonna actually need in your alien
I would love that.
alien bag.
I would love to inform everybody about what they would need to go visit the aliens.
Their weakness is like celery or something.
Yeah, that'd
And
be
you're
a
just
that'd be a
take a
whore.
stalk and you smack them in the face, and they just cry about it, and they let you go, and they're like, "Why?"
Movie with my favorite alien depiction. If it isn't Signs, it
that's
is
good.
Scary Movie 2.
I don't know if I saw that one.
That's the
Or
one.
if I
or
remember
if
that
it's
one. I
3.
know
It
I
might
saw
be
that
3.
one.
It's the one where they make fun of signs. And the aliens are just exactly how they would portray like the typical alien. Silly.
There's an old movie you gotta
big
watch.
head, long arms, all that.
Earth Girls Are Easy. So Jeff Goldblum, Jim Carrey, and somebody else, and they're all 3 of them were aliens.
Oh.
They come down as, 80s comedy. Just saying.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, let's see what else I got on here before this camera runs out here.
Mm-hmm. Always on, always
Oh,
on.
well, I do have that respect means that you accept somebody for who they are, even when they're different from you, and they don't agree with them. Respect in your relationships builds feelings of trust, safety, and well-being.
Right.
Respect doesn't have to come naturally. It is something you learn. So, the more you do that, the better you're going to become at it.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you become better at it, then it's kind of like catching a ball. You're going to be able to...
Yeah, second nature.
Right.
It's
You're
like,
not going to be missing stuff that's maybe somebody trying to throw respect at you.
Ideally,
You know
it
what I
would
mean?
be like breathing. Like we do it
Something you
without
do
being
naturally.
conscious of doing it, but
True.
you know what I mean? It's just something that we do. There's a lot of things that we should do like that. Just like being nice.
Being nice. And taking care of yourself.
Yeah, and chewing your food with your mouth closed.
And not chewing your fingernails anymore.
I'm working on it. I chew my cuticles, not my nails, and I'm working on it. And they look really bad right now, so we're just not going to talk about it anymore.
That had nothing to do with her. It had everything to do with me.
I felt triggered because
stopped
it was
chewing my
me.
nails.
I felt personally attacked.
Attacked.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. But I apologize because I respect you and your cuticles.
Come. That was very nice. I love you. That was very
Love you
nice.
too.
Thanks. I respect you too. And your flannel. And your steez.
Brought 2 shirts along, picked this one out because I don't know.
You never know what kind of mood you're going to be in.
It's true. The other one was very earthy. It was like a gray tone, and I already drank that Red Bull, so I knew I was definitely like it was. It gave me wings, and I was not grounded at all.
When you pack for a trip, do you pack like a couple extra outfits because you don't know what kind of mood you're gonna be in? Or are you that kind of guy that's like, no, 3 days, 3 outfits?
Oh, depending on where I'm going, if I know the what kind of mood I'm supposed to be in that situation.
Okay, I feel you. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, I
Okay,
get you.
so
Yeah, that makes total sense.
If I'm going to a wedding that's out of state, I'm not going to dress the same as a cruise I'm going to.
Right, like if you're going on vacation, you're just chilling.
Yeah.
Okay, I get
If
you.
it was to the mountains, it's going to be like comfy clothes and shit like that. If it's
Yeah.
to the beach, I'm probably going to buy something at the beach. So it's
Okay,
probably
I
going to
feel
be
you.
t-shirt
Right.
and,
like different
swimming
shorts.
pants and
different shorts and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel you.
And
Maybe
if
like
it's something,
khakis.
Krabby Dicks or something like that
Maybe
jumps
for
out
khakis.
and I want to grab a t-shirt, then maybe my mood changes. And
Gotta
then
love the beach shirts.
It is true. There's tons of them.
Mountain shirts need to step it up.
Yeah, what's up with the what's up with the mountain shirts?
Mountain shirts need to step it
Is
up.
this would this just be considered mountain shirt? Is that what finals are?
I don't know. I will say no. I will say honestly no, because I feel like
That's funny.
it could be so many different things. It could be like more of like a redneck country thing, or it could be more of like I'm just trying to look proper and like neat.
Yeah,
I
because
feel
I
like
was-
things with lines make you look like neat
Mhm.
and like clean and organized and serious and
And I was thinking it's cooler in the mountains, so is that maybe why they do this? But they sell sweatshirts down at the beach, so I know it gets cooler at night and everything. But really, you don't think of sweatshirts during the day. But if they can merch and push that shit, they're gonna. So I feel like long john tops,
right.
wife beaters, maybe with pine scented or something like that.
I'm just saying, I think like the beach has so many stereotypical clothing items that people purchase. For example, like females get the like something with shorts on the butt, like something on the butt. You know
Oh,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
DTF
Shorts.
or something.
Yeah, something on the
I like
butt
that.
always when you go to the beach, right?
Yep,
and
yep,
then
yep.
I think it's more unisex or also just more adults as well. But the lifeguard sweatshirts.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Have you ever owned one?
No,
I have.
that's okay.
I know, but I was a follower as a child, so I was like, everybody's got one. I want one
need
that's black
one.
and hot pink because I'm trying to be like core, but also like trying to be part of the group. But
TrendyCore.
yeah, but like,
Core trendy.
I honestly, I'm gonna be honest, feel like that's my whole vibe, and I also have been I've been like listening to a lot of like emo music lately, tapping into like the used, like from first to last. Like Coheed and Cambria. Yeah.
They're on my.
So I
They're
think
on my
I am
shuffle.
TrendyCore.
I
That's
think
what
so.
I am. Like, because I can also pop off to like Megan Thee Stallion. TrendyCore. So thank you. Thank you for breaking me down to.
Yeah, and I like that. I think that's my new fave now because that's what I do. I do enjoy that. I like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
I used to wear girl pants back in the day with tight sweatshirts and tight black shirts and whatnot, but I'd be listening to like Bob Marley and shit, and people would just be I'd throw
So
them,
thrown off.
throw 'em off
So
a little
thrown
bit, But I like going to those hardcore shows.
Rasta-core.
I did. I like going to those hardcore shows and fucking getting punched and.
Who didn't like going deaf and like losing the charms on your little emo shoes
Yeah,
and your
it's
belt
true.
getting like?
It's where's my hat? Where's my
Yep,
earring? Oh my
yep.
god.
Do you remember at the when the Chameleon was still a thing and they had the ledge around like the whole room where they used to have the pit mostly,
Yep.
and people would put stuff on the ledge. You'd have to at the end of the night if you were missing something, you had to go
Pry
around
up
and look
there.
on the ledge and find your thing. Yeah, I remember one show I went to. I thought it was so fucking hardcore, and I had these like checkered, like flat like Vans like shoes, and then I had like little charms, like all the like skulls and like lightning and like fucking like a knife, and then like it just got like ripped off in the pit within like the first 30 seconds.
You probably went out that Friday to Hot Topic or wherever.
I did. I
Spencer's
was so
probably,
hyped.
guess.
I was like, Mom, I need something that's more core, like not so much trendy. I need to go. And then like that's what I did, and it was like a whole thing. And then I was
Honey, let me see them charms on your shoes
right,
again.
super. Yeah, my
Shit.
mom being like, "Oh, dude, like what happened to you?" Yeah, shoes were absolutely destroyed. No charms, dirty. Like, nothing was white about them anymore. And it was just from one show.
Yeah, you got stepped on a lot, and there was a lot of
I
spilled
did.
beard.
I'm very little.
I feel you. I mean,
Like, don't take me to a pit. Like, you're going to be concerned.
I definitely wasn't. Yeah, I
You just
definitely
get
wasn't the
sucked in,
biggest
like,
person
whoop.
there. Yeah, that is what happens.
Yep, and it's always down and under.
You're standing 2 people deep like this, just
Yep.
glaring. You're
And
a
if-
spectator, and all of a sudden, those 2 people jump in the pit, and guess
Yep.
what? Your last line of
And
defense.
guess what? If God is good that day, you're lucky enough that fucking, like, the biggest dude in the pit just sees your little ass.
And
And
picks
he
you up.
finds, and yeah, and he's like, you know what? It's my personal mission at this point to make sure you make it out of this pit in one piece.
Yo, word up to those guys, because
I love those guys.
They
They've
were the real
literally saved my life
heroes.
so many times. Literally so many times.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Good old days.
Good old days, dude. Fuck yeah.
TrendyCore.
TrendyCore, that's me now. I might change my middle name to TrendyCore.
TrendyCore.
TrendyCore. It would be like TRENDY,
You might be-
capital CORE, one word. TrendyCore.
You might have to market that somehow.
TM.
Speaking of which, we might have something special for your next episode.
Maybe.
That you guys check out with us. And
Maybe.
It might be 2 or 3, maybe 1 or 2 really cool things going on. So,
I mean, I feel like we always have really cool stuff going on.
yeah, this might be extra cool.
Oh, extra cool.
Extra trendy,
Just
extra
gotta-
core.
Guess you gotta come back. See what kind of TrendyCore stuff we're gonna do.
Yeah, who knows what kind of TrendyCore we're going to start doing now. Well, fuck.
Oh, I love us so much. I do. We're kind of cool.
Yeah, we're kind of the
We're
shit.
kind of the shit. Yeah, it's whatever.
But we love you guys,
I
and
love you so much. Thank you so much for watching episode 3, and come back for episode 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and however many others that we do.
So
Just
we
keep
can-
coming. Just keep coming back
it's true.
for more Dane.
And more Ashley.
Yes. Peace.
Later.